Hello, church family and friends. Let's do another hymn study. Of the lesser-known hymns written by Isaac Watts, his poem, How Wretched Was Our Former State, stakes out some pretty lonely territory. In fact, one is hard-pressed to find tune information for this poetic expression of the Savior's triumphant rescue of sinful, fallen man. Indeed, Watts was known for his poems as well as his hymns, with some poems having no sacred theme whatsoever. How Wretched Was Our Former State has an 8/6/8/6 meter, meaning that the hymn can be sung to familiar tunes like Asmon, also known as O 4,000 Tongues to Sing, and New Britain, which we know very well as Amazing Grace. Interestingly, the poem can be adapted to this song or to the tune of a 17th century Scottish folk tune called The Peacock, which has become quietly popular in recent decades with a secular song called The Parting Glass. In the 19th century, this secular tune appeared in sacred music as the name Clomida, having an 8/8/8/8 meter. That particular hymn, set to that secular tune, is titled Say Now Ye Lovely Social Band. At the turn of the 19th century, this song appeared in only 3 hymnals, one used by the Presbyterians in 1796, another hymnal used in the Church of Scotland in 1800, and another hymnal used by the Universalist Church of America in 1817. After that, Say Now Ye Lovely Social Band drew waning interest. Well, back to the hymn of note. As a reformed yet very capable theologian, Watts was extraordinarily adept at weaving rich biblical truths into nearly every line or stanza of his hymns and poems. How Wretched Was Our Former State has the capacity to vividly picture the former state of man compared to the merciful, salvific work of Christ on the cross, although the cross is only inferred in the poem. In his letter to Titus, Paul charged his young son in the faith to remain faithful and to maintain good works as he battled against Jewish legalists who were enforcing works of the law as a condition of following Christ, and also battling against Gentile unbelievers who were in every way slaves to Satan, as Watts put it in his poem. There's great comparison and contrast of the hymn with the words of Paul to Titus. Also, the hymn generates key words and phrases that invite more Bible study for any student of the Bible. Here is Isaac Watts' poem, How Wretched Was Our Former State. How wretched was our former state when slaves to Satan's sway, with hearts disordered and impure, o'erwhelmed in sin we lay. But O my soul, forever praise, forever love his name, who turned thee from the fatal paths of folly, sin, and shame. Vain and presumptuous is the trust which in our works we place. Salvation from a higher source flows to the human race. 'Tis from the mercy of our God that all hopes begin. His mercy saved our soul from death and washed our souls from sin. His Spirit, through the Savior shed, its sacred fire imparts, refines our dross, and love divine rekindles in our hearts. Thence, raised from death, we live anew and justified by grace. We hope in glory to appear and see our Father's face. Let all who hold this faith and hope in holy deeds abound. Thus, faith approves itself sincere, by active virtue crowned.